Let's see how easy Photoshop makes it to display a photograph inside of text. I've got this photo of leaves which you should download and open in Photoshop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place some text on top of these leaves, and then we'll go with the process of how to basically mask the leaves inside of that text. So I'll start with my text tool. I can hit T on the keyboard or just select it here. And I'll just type in the word leaves all in uppercase. I can hold my command key down on the Mac. I believe it's the control key on the PC, and just carefully resize that. And if I want to constrain it, I would hold my shift key. And if I wanted to resize it on its center point, I would simultaneously hold down the options key as well. So I'm actually holding down my command key, my shift key, and my option key on the Mac to create this enlargement of my text. Once I'm happy, I can let go. And you'll notice if my cursor is low enough, I get the move tool icon, I can actually reposition it while still on the text tool. Otherwise, I can go to my move tool and move it at any point as well. So there's step one. We've got the text layer created. Now I need to take this background layer, which is an image of leaves, and move it above the layer with the text. So I will break this out of its background mode by double clicking it and turning it into a regular layer, and I'll just call this one photo. And I'll actually turn off my caps lock while I'm at it too. Now I need to drag this layer above the text layer. So right now it's hiding the text layer. The next step with that layer highlighted is to go up to my layer pull down menu and create what's called a clipping mask. So create clipping mask. And boom, just like that, it acts as a mask, and it masks, it actually uses the layer below to establish what the mask is. Now I do want to see the leaves in the background again. So with my option key down, I can duplicate a layer. It would be the Alt key on the PC. I can grab that layer with the option key down and just drag it below. Now it's a little bit hard to see at this point, obviously, because I've got the same image beneath the masked version of that image. What I could do here probably is lower the opacity, which I'll do. With my move tool currently selected, I can just hit a number lower than 0 on my keyboard, and in this case I'll say 6, which represents 60%. But if you see here, if I hit 8 or 9, it changes the level of opacity. So I think I'll actually stick with 7. And you can see in my layers that it says 70%. I could have gone here as well and used the slider. Many ways to set my opacity. I'll have to say in this case I don't really like seeing the checkerboard pattern, which is giving me a clue that there's some transparency here. So I'm going to go to my preferences and turn that off. Under Photoshop Preferences, and on the PC it would be under the Edit menu Preferences, I would go to Transparency and Gamut, and Grid Size I would set to None and click OK. Now at least I can make a distinction between my masked image of the leaves as well as the backdrop. I'm going to make it even more distinguished though. I'm going to go to my text layer and I'll actually apply an effect. So I'll go down to Effects and I will choose Bevel and Emboss. And I'll just move this so that I can sort of see some of my image behind it. And I'll just make some modifications. I'll soften it up a bit and I'll increase the size of the bevel, as you can see here. And once I'm happy with those settings, I can click OK. And there you have it. It's as simple as that. I've created a mask using the clipping mask feature under the layer pull down menu, and I created an illusion of an image inside of the text. The beauty of all of this is that it's all still editable. In fact, if I wanted to go and change the word or the text, I can double click on that to highlight it, and I can, for example, change it to another word. And I can always move that and reposition it and so on. Look at that, how nice that is. It looks like it's traveling right through the mask. It's always editable, and I can move this and it will still remain masked with the image that's directly above because I created that clipping mask. And that is how we create an image inside of text. And I want you to create this for me as well.